In this video, we're going to take a look at a pink ink by Sailor Sakura Mori. As always, there's timestamps down below so you can skip around, but if you've got the time, it really does help me out for you to check out the entire video. Also, down in the description, you're going to find a link to the pink ink playlist, so if you want to see more pinks, you can take a look at them there. Hi, I'm Adam, and I'm an ink guy. Let's get into the first writing sample done on 90 GSM Clairfontaine. No bleeding, no ghosting. The 1.1 has no feather spread, halo sheen, no shade. The extra fine is quite a bit lighter than the stub with no feather spread, halo sheen. It does shade very well. Quick goes darker to lighter to darker. Brown goes darker to lighter. Fox goes lighter to darker. 6 seconds to dry. Medium is the same tone as the extra fine with no feather spread, halo sheen, and it does have shading. Look at brown, dark to light. Quick, light to dark. Fox, light to dark. 11 seconds to dry. The scrubby for both do show a little bit of color variation. It looks better in the writing. And the smear test, believe it or not, you could recover that if you smeared while you were writing. To have a range of experience with this ink, all of the writing samples are done with a Jinhao 159 with a 1.1 stub, a Jinhao X450 with a medium, and a Jinhao X750 with an extra fine. Then, a Lamy 2000 with a medium nib was inked up, used for a day, and used to take the notes for this video. The next writing sample is done on 52 GSM Tomoe River. No bleeding, no ghosting. The 1.1 has no feather spread, halo sheen, or shade. The extra fine is quite a bit lighter than the stub, with no feather spread, halo sheen, no shade, and 13 seconds to dry. Medium is the same tone as the extra fine with no feather spread, halo sheen, no shade, 20 seconds to dry. The scrubby for both shows no color variation because there is none. And the smear test, there's not a chance in heck you could recover if you smeared while you were writing. I agree with Vita. There's a lot to learn by doing multiple chromatographies. The one on the left is done the way it's supposed to be done. A line of ink is put down and it's put in the water for 10 to 15 seconds immediately. We see a very light pink at the bottom pushing its way up very evenly in a bright yellow at the top, but not a screaming yellow. The one on the right is let dried for 10 minutes before it's put in the water. And you know what? You can't tell the difference between them, which means I don't expect any resistance from this ink. The next writing sample is done on 80 GSM Rhodia dot pad. No bleeding, no ghosting. The 1.1 has no feather spread, halo sheen, no shade. You know what? I'm going to change that. In the Sakura, it goes darker to lighter to darker to lighter to darker. I don't know why I didn't see that before I even said that. The extra fine is lighter than the stub with no feather spread, halo sheen. It does shade as brown goes darker to lighter. Quick goes darker to lighter to darker. The is much darker than the word over and 8 seconds to dry. Medium is the same tone as the extra fine with no feather spread, halo sheen, decent shading as fox goes light to dark. Brown goes dark to light. Quick goes darker to lighter to darker. 14 seconds to dry. Now the scrubby for both don't show a ton of color variation. They do show a little bit. It's better in the writing. And the smear test, you could recover it. It's really very surprising. You could recover it if you smeared while you were writing. Resistance tests are done to see how this ink can be expected to perform on a page, and more importantly, how hard it may be to clean from your pen. The smear is allowed to dry for 3 days before testing it. Looking at the highlighter, I'm very surprised with how it went. It didn't wash it out. It's not making it unreadable. It's completely there, easy to read, perfectly good to use in a note-taking situation if you want to go back and highlight. This is a good one. Now, water is reactivating and lifting some of it, but not all of it. I really thought water was going to get rid of much more than it did. Pen flush is starting to really break it down. You're seeing some of the white of the paper come through, especially around the edge of that. And the 1/3 bleach solution obliterating this ink. Now, it only took water to get this out of my pen. The next writing sample is done on G-Lalo paper. No bleeding, no ghosting. The 1.1 has no feather spread, halo sheen, or shade. The extra fine is lighter than the stub with no feather spread, halo sheen. You do see shading like the starts light, gets dark. Quick goes dark to light to dark. Brown goes mid-tone to light. Fox goes darker to lighter to darker. I think it shows a little bit better on this gray paper, the shading. 3 seconds to dry. Medium is the same tone as the extra fine with no feather spread, halo sheen. Decent shading. The goes light to dark. Quick goes dark to light to dark. Brown goes mid-tone to light. The goes light to dark. 7 seconds to dry. Scrubby for both do show some color variation, and it's pretty nice there. And the smear test, yup, you could recover if you smeared while you were writing. For the inks tested, the average viscosity was 2.5, with the realm of normal being from 2.1 to 2.9. Sailor's Sakura Mori has a viscosity of 1.25. If you're interested in how the viscosity tests are done and all of that kind of stuff, then down in the description is a link to that video. The next writing sample is done on original crown mill paper. No bleeding, no ghosting. The 1.1 has no feather spread, halo sheen, and no shade. The extra fine is lighter than the stub with no feather spread, halo sheen, or shade, and 4 seconds to dry. Medium is the same tone as the stub with no feather spread, halo sheen, no shade, 7 seconds to dry. The scrubby for both do show a tiny bit of color variation, but it's not coming through in the writing, and the smear test still, you could recover it if you smeared while you were writing. For the inks tested, the average dry time was 17 seconds, with the realm of normal being from 13 to 21 seconds. Sailor's Sakura Mori has an average dry time of 12 seconds, meaning it dries just a little bit faster than normal. The last writing sample is done on limon paper. Not being known for being a fountain pen friendly paper, the fact that there is no bleeding or ghosting is a very good sign. The 1.1 has tiny feathers all over the Sakura, all over the Sailor. Not as much in Mori, but it is in the M. It does spread just a little bit. It has no halo sheen and no shade. The extra fine is a lot lighter than the stub. There's no feathering, no spread, no halo, no sheen, some spots of shading like the K in quick, the word the compared to the word lazy, 2 seconds to dry. Medium is darker than the extra fine, not as dark as the stub. It does have tiny feathering, like the word the has tiny feathering all over it, the K in quick, but it's not all of the writing. It's only in certain spots. It doesn't have spread. It has no halo, no sheen. Spots of shading. Lazy starts darker, gets lighter. Brown starts darker, gets lighter. 4 seconds to dry. Scrubby for both don't show a lot of color variation. Medium shows just a little bit more, and we do see it in the medium. We also saw it a little bit in the extra fine. And as has been the case, if you smeared it while you were writing, you could recover it without any problems. Instead of finding inks that look like Sailor's Sakura Mori, I'd prefer to find an ink that complements its color on the page. I decided to go with a black ink in order to not take any attention away from this very nicely performing pink. So I chose Namiki Black. Now, if you'd prefer a different complement color, then down in the description are links to those playlists. So what do I think of Sailor's Sakura Mori? A very nice, soft pink. It isn't obnoxious, and it shades very nice. It's easy to read on the page. A huge winner for someone sometimes, like me, that wants a pink ink that is truly usable. So what nib and pen give the best writing experience with this ink? Now, I really do think it shades very well and looks really nice in every pen it goes through. But if I had to choose one, I would go with a medium flow, medium or fine nib, just because I prefer how that looks on the page over the stubs or broads. I hope you got something out of this video, and in the next video, we're going to take a look at Mont Blanc's BMW.